You decided a wife who really loves you should just know what you need, so you stopped saying it. And now you're calling that proof, when all it proves is you never opened your mouth. Look at the proof you're using. She didn't notice you were off at dinner. She didn't ask about the thing at work that's been eating at you for 2 weeks. She didn't catch that your shoulder has been killing you for 3 days. And every miss feels like one more mark against her. You're keeping score on what she didn't catch. But you never told her any of it. You sat there, needing something, kept it to yourself, and waited to see if she'd pull it out of you on her own. When she didn't, you took that as proof. Proof she's not paying attention. Proof she doesn't care like she used to. That sounds fair in your head. Of course a wife who loves you should see you. Of course she should notice when something's wrong. But look at what you actually did. You hid the thing. Then you judged her for not finding it. You set the bar where she couldn't even see it, and every time she missed it, you added that to the list. She's not failing to love you. She's failing a test she didn't know she was taking. So ask yourself this. If you never said it out loud, what exactly were you measuring her against? You've seen what happens when a man complains about every uncomfortable thing the second he feels it. The food's wrong. The schedule's wrong. The plan for the weekend is wrong. One sentence at the wrong time, and the whole night is shot. A long time ago, you decided you were not going to be that guy. So you learned to hold it in. You learned not every thought needs to come out of your mouth. You felt something, let it sit, let it pass, and the house stayed calm. That felt like growing up. It felt like the difference between who you used to be and who you are now. From where you sit, holding it in looks like progress. You stopped picking at things. You stopped turning small irritations into long nights. The marriage got quieter, steadier, easier to live in. By the standards you grew up with, you look like the husband who finally learned to keep the peace. Sunday night, you're on the couch. The show is still on low. She's at the other end of the cushion, scrolling on her phone. Your shoulder has been killing you for 3 days. You haven't said anything about it. You haven't rolled it where she can see. You haven't sighed loud enough to land. You've been sitting there, picturing it. Picturing her looking up. Picturing her saying, "Honey, come here. Let me work on that for you." She doesn't look up. She finishes whatever she's reading. She gets up to get water. She walks past you without stopping. She sits back down. The night keeps moving like nothing's happening. And you feel it. That cold pull in your chest. The proof landing. She didn't see you. Again. You go to bed without saying a word. She kisses you goodnight and asks if you set the alarm. You say yes. You lie there running the list. All the time she didn't notice. All the time she didn't ask. All the times you were drowning in plain sight and she was on her phone. She has no idea any of this is happening. To her, it was a quiet Sunday. To you, it was another receipt. You weren't being romantic. You were running a test she didn't know existed. So what did the test actually prove? That she failed to read your mind? Or that you refused to use yours? Now run that out 6 months. She doesn't stop loving you. She just stops trying to read you. She used to walk up behind you and rub your shoulders without being asked. You don't remember when she stopped. You just remember at some point she didn't anymore. She used to ask the second question. How was your day, really? You don't remember when that one disappeared either. You only remember she stopped digging when you stopped opening. She starts a sentence with, "Are you okay?" and then catches herself and turns it into a question about Saturday. She asks if you ate. She asks if you set the alarm. She asks if you remembered the appointment. The practical questions, the safe ones, the ones that don't ask her to guess what's going on inside a husband who won't say. This is the part men miss. From where you sit, things feel cold. You think she pulled back. She didn't pull back. She got tired of failing tests you wouldn't read out loud. But look at what actually happened. She stopped reaching for you because reaching kept getting punished. Every time she guessed wrong, she got the cold version of you for an evening. Every time she didn't ask the right question, she got blamed for not asking. So she stopped asking. The cost of being wrong was higher than the cost of doing nothing. You started thinking she got distant, like the love finally cooled off. So look at what actually got distant. Her, or the version of you she was allowed to see. So the question gets simpler. You can keep grading her on what she didn't notice, how fast she catches your mood, whether she asks the second question, whether she rubs your shoulder before you have to bring it up. That stuff matters. It just doesn't answer the whole thing. She may have loved you fully the whole time. She may have been trying for years. But that was never the whole test. The test is what came out of your mouth. Not whether your wife is paying close enough attention. Whether you said your shoulder hurt. Whether you said today was rough. Whether you said you wanted her to plan something this weekend instead of waiting to see if she'd think of it herself. You've been scoring her on the wrong night. The silence was your move. The waiting was your move. And what matters is what you said, not what she didn't catch. The silence was Sunday. Her next week either had a husband who finally asked, or it had the same quiet man waiting to be read. Pause equals 2.5 seconds.
Don't subscribe. The next video is about that evening you've already wiped from memory. She still knows the date.